Hello and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar Bey, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving with your family and friends and loved ones, and was able to, I'm pretty sure we all have something thankful that we can be thankful about. We all have something that we can all be glad that as we get ready to move into this new year, to be thankful is to be thankful. The thankful, the THINK, thankful will allow me to be thankful. Because I'm always in the mindset of thinking. I'm always using my mind to create, to to push me forward, to take me to that next level. And so, yes, I am thankful, and I'm thankful because I'm thankful for my family, for my friends. I'm thankful for you all for joining me every week, same place, same time. Those of you that have graced us so much with your donations, with your love, with your feedback. So we are forever grateful. Um, I'm moving in the direction that Spirit is leading me to. And you can see by the different titles of these lectures, these teachings, that we're moving into a different level of consciousness. We're moving into a wealthy financial consciousness, a consciousness of elevated proportions. And I think that it's only imperative that we really take the initiative to work this. I want us to really be not just a listener or a hearer, but actually a doer. To take what you're listening to and actually apply it. Actually sit down and write some things down and really start implementing some things. I believe that these teachings are very powerful, and if you implement them, you'll be surprised at how things really unfold and take off in your life. If this is your first time listening to this channel, we want to say thank you. We want to say welcome. Could you let us know what city, what state, what country you're listening from in the chat? Also, if you haven't done so, please hit the like button, and also please hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified of all uploads, everything that goes on with this channel. As we move into January, there will be a lot going on. So I am forever grateful, for what's getting ready to happen. So we want to go ahead and get that going. I have a lot that I want to cover today, so let's go ahead and get into our quiet place. If you have a quiet place, you can go clear your mind, clear your head, clear your thoughts as we get ready to move into our teaching for today. I want to go into this spiritual mind treatment. Go ahead and take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Infinite source, limitless intelligence, the eternal creative power that shapes galaxies and breathes through every atom. I recognize you as the one life, the life that thinks through me, creates through me, expands through me, and expresses as me. Right now, I release every identity beneath my true identity. I rise as divine mastery. I stand as the self that is unlimited, unfearing, unbound, and unstoppable. There is no scarcity in me, no resistance in me, no limitation in me, no constriction in me. Every channel assigned to my destiny opens now. I declare that 2026 is my year of unlimited streams of income, streams born from vision, streams born from purpose, streams born from divine intelligence, flowing freely through me. I am not chasing wealth. I am remembering my wealth. I am not begging the universe. I am the universe in conscious expression. I speak the word of expansion. My identity expands. My capacity expands. My channel expands. My imagination expands. My receivership expands. I am open. I am ready. I am aligned. I am wealthy in consciousness and therefore wealthy in form. The word is law. The law is active. The activation is permanent. And so it is. And so it is. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know we had a busy week. Everybody, family, friends, going through the Black Friday, going through all the shopping and just everything that happens. We're here now. With Thanksgiving in, it has come and gone, and now we're looking at Christmas. We're looking at Christmas Eve. We're now in the holiday season. And so it's it's a great time. It's a festive time. It's actually Christmas has always been my favorite holiday growing up in New York City. I still to this day don't believe that nobody does Christmas like New York. I've lived in Vegas. I lived in Texas. I've been to different places in Christmas, but I've never seen nobody do Christmas like New York. Just with the way that the tree is lit, the decorations in the city, Manhattan, Fifth Avenue, the 34th Street Macy's. It's just a sight to see. It's absolutely a sight to see. And so I've always been a big fan of just Christmas. I'm a very ceremonial guy. I like all the lights and the wreaths and the Christmas balls and the garland and everything that comes along with it, and just the whole festive. So yeah, Christmas has always been one of my favorite times, because it's always, of course, about family coming together, but just the whole festiveness of it. And so as we move into this lets me know that we are getting ready. We're knocking at the door of 2026. And so it's imperative that we put ourselves in a position of moving forward. 2026 will be here before you know it, and I can't wait. Let me tell you something. This is probably one of the first years that I've actually could not wait and had and planning and anticipating for things to really come into fruition like I am 2026. 2026, as I said before, is the year of new beginnings on a world global scheme. It's the year where you will see a lot of new things implemented. And as we're seeing in 2025, that 2025 was the year that a lot of things have been closed and reconfigured and pretty much shut down. We had the government shut down. We had different bills, different changes to the way that things happened. You see, now they're getting everybody to re-sign up for EBT food stamps again. Everything is being implemented, right? Everything is changing. We're seeing the government stuff change on a global scale. This was a year of endings. This was a year of confinement. And what you're going to see in 2026 is the year of just new implementation of things, new laws, new structures, new rules. A lot of things will be changing, ladies and gentlemen. And what happens is, listen to this. In the midst of the change, understand you do not allow that to affect you, because even in the midst of the new beginning that 2026 brings us, each and every one of you still has a purpose and a plan and a destiny to fulfill in the midst of that. And so you can't allow what's outside of your control to stop you or to paralyze you from fear or from the unknown, because you don't know that. But what happens is when you start to work in your purpose and you start to walk in your wealthy by design, what happens is you start to align yourself to be in the right place at the right time, to meet the right people, to do the right things that you need to do. So we gotta put that in perspective. I just want you to understand that. We gotta put that in perspective. And so I want to definitely let you guys know that, you know, even though it's a year of new beginnings for the world as a whole, it may not be a year of new beginnings for me, for you, but just as the world as a whole, right? Government stuff, world, you'll see things with the United Nations. You'll see those things as far as implementation of those things. But some of you, this may be a year for travel. This may be a year of family. This may be a year of you stepping out and starting the new business and launching the new entrepreneurial things you've been working on. This may be a year for you to get married. This may be a year for getting into a relationship, right? So everybody has a different purpose. They have a different destiny and your life map. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can go back about a month ago. We talked about the life map and how to create your own life map. We went through all of that, right? What happens is you want to make sure that you know where you're going. You know what am I walking into, and so that's why I've always made it possible that you guys can schedule a consultation with me. So the link is in the bottom. Click on the link, go ahead and schedule a consultation with me. You know, usually I'm very, very busy around this time because everybody is reaching out to find out, hey, I need to know what's happening in 2026. Hey, could you tell me what's going to happen? Could you give me some insight? You know, what am I doing? What am I this? What am I that? And so, like I said, we've been working. Today, we're going to be talking from the subject, unlimited streams of income. I find myself going in the direction that Spirit leads me, and somebody needs to hear this. We're going down this journey here because somebody needs to hear this, and we're in a pivotal time now where if we can get this inwardly in consciousness, we can have it outwardly. If we can get it inwardly in consciousness, we can have it outwardly. Your income is not determined by the economy. I think I said everything we need to hear right now. I think if I didn't say anything else for the rest of this teaching, we're good. Your income is not determined by the economy. Do you understand how powerful that is? With everything that we're hearing, what's going on in the government, with everything that we're hearing with this is happening and shutdowns and, we're hearing about shortages, we're hearing about layoffs, we're hearing about all these things that are happening. People are losing their jobs, people are being laid off. We're hearing about Amazon laying off. We're hearing about Tesla laying off. We're hearing about Microsoft laying off. We're hearing about Apple laying off. We're hearing about Facebook laying off. Everybody's laying off, right? But your income is not determined by the economy. He that has an ear, let them hear. Your income is determined by your identity. Oh, God. Money is not a physical object. Money is a spiritual frequency. To the untamed mind, money appears to come from jobs, clients, sales, businesses, and contracts. But when we look at it from a metaphysical lens, money doesn't come from anything physical. It comes through physical channels. Your source is eternal, not external. When you try to earn money externally without upgrading identity internally, you hit resistance, exhaustion, and stagnation. You're going to hear this word identity over and over again because we just talked about wealth by design, wealthy by design. When you start walking in a certain level of identity, remember, your income is not determined by the economy. So with all the layoffs, with everything that's going on, if I'm still operating in my identity, I'm going to still be pulling in unlimited streams of income. Oh, I hope somebody walks away totally changed than how they came in today. I hope that you share this and give it to 5 people that you know, because I believe that somebody's going to walk away from here and really get the grasp of this level of consciousness. Somebody's mind is going to be expanded today, and to the point where they're going to walk away and say, wow, as I get ready to walk into 2026, I'm looking at unlimited streams of income, not because of the economy, not because of my job, but because of my identity. When you try to earn money, I want to say this again. When you try to earn money externally without upgrading identity internally, you hit resistance, exhaustion, and stagnation, because the universe will not allow you to sustain anything that violates your self-concept. Identity is destiny. That's why the first thing I try to get people to come to me to get a session with is so that we can identify who you are. I like to call it the natal promise. What is my natal promise? Listen, I believe that everybody listening to me, you're born for a reason. Everybody who's listening to me, you're supposed to be listening to me. There's no accidents, there's no mistakes in the universe. Everybody was born and dealt a hand in the game of life. It doesn't matter how good your hand is or how bad your hand is that you were dealt. The only thing that matters is how well you play the hand that you were dealt. And so the ability to play the hand that you were dealt well enough is determined by your identity. You will never out-earn your identity. You will only out-earn your excuses. Most people want to shift income while staying the same. But your financial life cannot evolve unless you evolve. A limited identity blocks abundance. An expanded identity magnetizes abundance. Your job is not to make more money. Your job is to become someone from whom money flows naturally. When you embody divine mastery, money recognizes you, opportunities appear to you, people are drawn to your frequency, ideas unpack themselves, clarity becomes instinct, discipline becomes identity, increase becomes automatic. The universe mirrors your internal structure. When you expand inwardly, you expand outwardly. When you expand inwardly, you expand outwardly. Income is not a goal. Income is a symptom. It reflects the health of your inner world. Let me say that again. Listen. Income is not a goal. Income is a symptom. It reflects the health of your inner world. And your inner world is unlimited. There was a man named Elias. He was born into a village that people believed that believed wealth was predetermined. Some of the people in the village said, some people are meant for abundance, others must work until they die. Elias accepted that programming, and not because it was true, but because no one had ever shown him something different. He had not seen anything different. He had not heard anything different. So he believed that this was true. One day, a traveling scribe stayed in the village. And for whatever reason, he took a liking to Elias. And he started to talk to Elias and hang out with him. They just built a bond between each other. And the scribe believed, he said, you know what, Elias has a hidden potential. There's a spiritual giant asleep inside of him. Before leaving, the sage handed him a small parchment covered in symbols. And the scribe said to Elias, "This will change your life." Elias opened the parchment and laughed. It was not a map of rivers, mountains, or roads. It was a map of triangles, circles, spirals, lines, dots, and waves. Meaningless to the untrained eye. Elias took the parchment package envelope and tossed it to the side. Months later, famine hit the village. The crops died. The village work began to dwindle. Money slowed all the way down. Elias, desperate, reached for that parchment envelope that he had threw to the side. He looked at it and studied it and looked at it more deeply and discovered something extraordinary. The map was not a geographical map. It was a map of consciousness. The triangles represented the imagination. The circles represented awareness. The spirals represented elevated identity. The lines represented focused intention. The dots represented decision. The waves represented emotional vibration. He realized something revolutionary. The map wasn't showing him where wealth was, it was showing him how wealth is created. The map revealed 4 metaphysical formulas. Number 1, the imagination equals ideas. Wealth begins in the unseen. Number 2, belief equals possibility. Only the identity you authorize can manifest. Number 3, emotion equals energy. Your emotional state determines your receiving state. And number 4, decisions equal destiny. You choose wealth before you earn it. Elias spent months meditating, visualizing, expanding, and practicing divine mastery. Within 1 year, he transformed from a laborer into the wealthiest man in that region, not because he discovered treasures, but because he discovered himself. When the scribe returned, Elias bowed, but the scribe said, I didn't give you a map. I gave you a mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that this teaching today is a mirror. Your power is not missing. Your abundance is not missing. Your channels are not missing. Your remembrance is missing. You are the source of your supply. Everything else is delivery. The law of mental multiplication. Thoughts multiply when they are emotionally charged and identity supported. You can only hold what your identity can sustain. You can only hold what your identity can sustain. That's why the identity is so important. Because if I identify as being broke, if I identify as being hurt, lonely, if I identify as being sick, what are you identifying as? Because your identity can only sustain that which you identify as. Stagnant minds will create stagnant money. Flowing consciousness creates flowing income. Every wealthy person obeys these four laws, whether unconscious or consciously. They respect the law of spiritual source, the law of mental multiplication, the law of identity expansion, and the law of universal circulation. Everybody who's struggling violates them without knowing why. Your identity is the operator of your financial universe. You are not struggling because you lack opportunity. You are struggling because you lack identity expansion. When you embody divine mastery, you stop seeking permission. You stop apologizing for abundance. You stop shrinking for others' comfort. And you stop settling for survival level existence. You stop fearing overflow. You stop resisting your own greatness. And so your identity is the operator of your financial universe. When I hear that and I hear those words, it brings me back to a lecture, a teaching we did where I talked about you can't speak butterfly language to caterpillar people. Because once you become a butterfly, your language and everything changes. You're no longer a caterpillar. And what do you identify as? Because if once I've embodied divine mastery, I no longer am seeking permission from anybody. I'm no longer apologizing for abundance. I'm no longer shrinking so I can make others feel good. I'm no longer lowering my frequency, my vibration, my alignment so that I can make others around me feel like they're better than me or feel like they matter. I'm not doing that. I'm also not settling for a survival level experience. I no longer have to survive because I'm now walking in my identity. Identity dictates income. Identity dictates capacity. Identity dictates possibility. And ladies and gentlemen, 2026 requires a new identity entirely. You know how it goes. New Year's Eve, we all celebrating. We bring in the new year, and we bring in the new year, and so now we're ready for the new year to come in. And what happens? We start talking I'm going to the gym. I'm working out. I'm going to eat right. The new year always starts off the same way, but then maybe the middle of January towards the end, we just fall back into the old patterns because we tried to make the change on the outside, not the inside. The change got to be made from the inside. So everybody has that New Year's resolution. And it don't last because the change never was made correctly. It was an outside change, not an inside. I wanna take a look real quickly at the 12 streams of destiny income. You're not here. Anybody that's listening to me, I want you to know this. You're not designed for one stream of income. You were created by infinite intelligence to be the embodiment of circulation, the expression of abundance, the living portal of multiplied supply. Your soul carries 12 distinct income streams, each one governed by its own metaphysical law, planetary principle, psychological function, and unique identity archetype. Spiritual intelligence income. This is the income that's generated through your divine purpose, your teachings, your metaphysical insight, your spiritual guidance, your prophetic gift, your lectures. This is not money earned. This is money honoring your calling. Number 2, creative income. Every idea you receive is a potential stream of income. Creativity equals currency. Your imagination is not entertainment, it is spiritual capital. Now, we spoke about this last week or the week before last, that money chases great ideas. Remember, every idea you receive is a potential stream of income. So if somebody's listening to me right now and they're saying, well, I need to make more money, I need more money, you don't have a money problem, you have an idea problem. Because the more ideas that you create, the more money will follow. Digital income. Digital income is the technology extension of your consciousness. Some of you have a lot of great knowledge. Listen to me. Some of you have went through hell and high water in your life. You went through a whole lot and you made it out. And do you know that your story could be made into books, courses, all kind of stuff? You have experiences. You have knowledge about certain things. You have so many different things that you could create, ideas, right? But when we talk about the digital income, we're talking about PDFs, ebooks, audio lectures, digital courses, membership content, recorded teachings, journals. These are the things when we talk about digital income. Some of you becoming content creators, right? Creating a podcast. There's so many different variations of different ways to make money. This income is one that works while you sleep because your digital self never sleeps. Your digital self never sleeps. So that's why these 12 different streams of income are just giving you different ideas of what you have in your arsenal of different ways. You have service-based income. This is consultations, astrology readings, numerology sessions, coachings, advisory, healing work, anything that requires your presence, your voice, your mind. This income is immediate. It reminds you that your presence is valuable. So anybody that has service-based potential, 2026 looks pretty good. Remember, we talked about this last week. There's nobody who's rich or successful that does not provide a service. What service do you provide? A lot of you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom. You can be a consultant in some field or another. And this is the kind of stuff that we got to start thinking about, because we got to say to ourselves, I got to start moving and thinking in a different place, in a different opportunity, so I can start moving and elevating, right? The next stream is the teaching stream. Teaching is radiance. When you teach, you broadcast light. People pay for illumination. Teaching scales your wisdom without exhausting your energy. Remember, teaching is radiance. When you teach, you broadcast light, and people will pay for illumination. How many of us out there are teachers, and you went through so many things in your life? There's so many things that you can do. Listen, I know people who never went to cooking school, but they can cook Bobby Flay and all of other cooks under the table, right? Through experience, knowledge, experience, wisdom. And so what's nothing good for there's nothing better for them than to get on YouTube and show people, hey, let me show you how to make macaroni and cheese. Let me show you how I make collard greens. Let me show you how I make a turkey. Let me show you how I make a chocolate cake, right? And so teaching. We're in a society of information. We're in a society of artificial intelligence. And as I said before, and I'm going to keep pounding it, everybody needs to be using AI. Everybody needs to be using AI in some capacity, in some form, because AI is what will help you to stand the length of time. You know, our telephones are AI, and everybody who has a cell phone is AI. You know why? Because back in the day, we had to write letters to communicate, and we don't have to write letters to communicate anymore. I can pick up the phone and dial your number and call you. That's AI. I can get not only can I get you on the phone now, but now we have FaceTime where I can even see you, no matter how far, 3, 4, 5,000 miles away. I can get on the phone and we can see each other and talk. That's AI. And so the more you get in tune with these things, the more you're going to be able to be equipped with how life is transforming. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I told you in the beginning that 2026 is a year of new beginnings, new laws, new rules, new implementations, right? I'm telling you right now, you want to grab a hold of AI, because AI will help you to maneuver and navigate all of these new implementations, new beginnings, new laws, new rules, new things that are happening. The AI will help you to navigate and move through those things, and you will be able to stand the test of time and keep up. But if you do not use AI and you refuse to use it and to embrace it, woe unto you, my friend. Licensing income. This is the wealthy person's secret. Licensing is when you create an asset. Maybe you created a system. Maybe you created a framework, a model, a curriculum, a technique, a process, a methodology. And what happens is if somebody uses it, you can license it to them where they have to pay you to use it. You have a system that you created of how you clean your house, or how you operate, or how you technique that you've created that nobody else has or nobody else does. You can license that to organizations, to schools, institutions, hospitals, or even creators will pay you for the right to use it. And you even get paid if you never show up again, because you're licensing something that you created. You created this thing one time, and you can license it. Royalty income. Royalty income is the eternal income. You create it once and get paid forever. We're talking about books, music, audio libraries, video archives, generational digital products, licensable teaching series, membership votes. This stream is about immortality. When we look at stuff like Michael Jackson, and we hear that his legacy, his children are able to live off of his royalties, off of his music royalties. We hear, just things that were created years and years ago before he passed away, of what he owned and what was in his arsenal. So when you look at royalties, it's very important. Many of you have ideas, you have books, you have music, different things inside of you that you can create that will begin to give you income. Membership income. Membership income is the most predictable income on earth. Why? Because people don't just join memberships, they join identity tribes. You are not selling content, you are selling belonging. Memberships. And so you create a group and you say, this is the group that I've created. And if you want to be in this group, it's X amount of dollars. We have them all over now. People have Patreons where you can join private group where you have access to certain information. You have access to certain groups behind the paywall where they have information and content and all different things, but you have to be a part of the group. You're a part of the group because something in that group identifies with you. Something in that group identifies with you, and so you connect with that group. You become a member with that group, and you begin to elevate your consciousness and continue to grow. Investment income. When your money works harder than you do, you step into divine mastery financially. So investment income could be EFTs, dividends, stocks, bonds, index funds, high yield interest, real estate shares, right? Tax deeds. There's so many different things that you can invest in, right? Investment income is accelerated expansion. So you have, somebody asked me the other day, they said, Issachar, what are you going to do if Social Security is no longer going to be there by the time you get to that age where you can collect? And I said, well, you know what? I really wasn't kind of thinking about that because that wasn't something that I was going to be relying on. I said, but I invest in the market, and I said, but I was actually looking at dividend stocks. So what's that? Dividend stocks are stocks that you invest in that pay dividends, maybe every month, every quarter, and the more you invest in those stocks, the more dividends they pay. And so you can use it as compound interest and say, I'm going to keep investing in those stocks for about another 15 years. Because instead of me collecting the dividends, I'll just put the dividends right back into it and let it compound interest, right? So by the time I am able to collect Social Security, it will be based on my investments, not based on what's happening or not happening with Social Security at that time. So I'm just saying that to say that we have to be in the realm of identity. We have to be in the moment of what do I identify as? Because when I understand what I identify as, it changes the whole dynamic. It changes the whole dynamic. Uh, Investment income is probably my favorite, um, because it's so magical to me when you get into the understanding of it and how it works. And when you start really getting to the identity of money, that's why I call life a game. It's kind of like playing Monopoly. It's kind of like playing the game life. It's like playing checkers or Connect Four. It becomes a game. It becomes fun because in this world, ladies and gentlemen, you can become whoever you want to become. And remember, you never get out of life what you want. You only get out of life what you become. So if I can become anything I want, I can also receive anything I want because all I have to do is become it. And so it's imperative that we look at that and really work with that. But I love that. Another income is partnership income. This is collaborative wealth where two aligned minds multiply what one could never create alone. Brand partnerships, joint ventures, cross promotions, affiliate partnerships, strategic collaborations. This income comes from relationships, not labor. So let's say that, one of you writes a book and the book does very well. You are now a social media sensation. So you have a lot of followers. You have a big audience that follows you. You have a lot of clicks and likes and comments on all your social media stuff. What happens is you may get, certain brand products that may want you to wear their clothing or use their merchandise so that it's a collaborative effort. You have the following, you have the light on you, as so to speak, and we want to establish our brand. So we want you to partner with us. And, we want you to, just like I talked about it last week with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart had got to the point where he stepped into his wealthiness by design. But at that level, when he got to that level, Chase Credit Card came to him and said, hey, listen, we want to partner with you. We feel like you're at a high level. You're selling out arenas and stadiums all over the world. We would like to partner with you to help us promote our brand and our Chase Credit Card. And so he did it. DraftKings, which is a gambling site, gambling app, they connected with him and said, hey, look, we would love for you to be our brand ambassador to help us to establish and do our brands. So Kevin Hart got into a partnership income. And so you're able to see that. The next one is real economy income. This includes your physical, tangible, material world offerings. This includes apparel, candles, oils, merchandise, print products, booklets, tangible goods, anything you're selling tangibly, which gives you the real economy income, grounds your spiritual wealth into physical form. So this is anything physical that you're selling. And then last but not least, your legacy income, right? Legacy income is generational. This is the income your descendants inherited, the income that outlives your lifetime, the wealth that becomes tradition, books that never stop selling, teachings that never stop circulating, memberships that never stop growing, brands that never stop evolving. Legacy income is the final form of divine mastery. Legacy income is the final form of divine mastery. And so when you get into that, you begin to look at things differently. You know why? Because all 12 streams of income are already encoded in you. Your job is not to create them. Your job is to unlock them. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. I want to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. If you go back and listen to the first teaching I put on this video, on this channel, up until today, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new that I'm saying that has never been said before. Listen to me. What I'm doing is bringing you back to remembrance of what's already inside of you. I'm bringing you back into a level of remembrance of what was already inside of you that maybe you were not aware of because you hadn't come to a level of awareness. And so I just want to let you know that we're not telling you anything new. We're just bringing you back to remembrance, or putting a flashlight over this to let you know, oh, you know that you can also do this. You know that you can also do that. But when you unlock those 12 streams of income, what it does to you is, once again, it updates your identity, your belief, your capacity, subconscious, and it becomes your blueprint. Most people try to change their income by changing their activity. But activity is not the source of income, identity is. You see that? Most people try to change their income by changing their activity. You know what? I used to do this. Let me go get 2 jobs. Instead of doing this, let me do that. We changed the activity outside. We changed the activity, which is the outside thing. But activity is not the source of the income. Identity is. And in order to change your identity, you must go within. Activity expresses income. Identity generates income. And identity is governed by 4 internal circuits. Everything you manifest, every stream you activate, every opportunity you attract, every idea you receive, every dollar you sustain is determined by the collaboration of these 4 circuits, ladies and gentlemen. The cognitive wealth circuit, your thoughts. The emotional wealth circuit, your feelings. The somatic wealth circuit, your nervous system. Your identity wealth circuit, your self-concept. If any one of these circuits is weak, your income reflects it instantly. The cognitive wealth circuit. Your thoughts are architects of your financial reality. Your mind doesn't think in random ideas. It thinks in frames. Frames are mental structures that filter reality. If your frame is money is hard to earn, money means more problem. Wealth isn't for people like me. I must work harder or work more. Your subconscious mind runs those beliefs like software. Your life mirrors your frame. Your frame becomes your fate. But when your frame is money responds to my alignment, value flows through me effortlessly. My mind is a magnet for divine ideas. I grow wealth as naturally as I breathe. Your subconscious updates the entire reality around you. The cognitive circuit is your financial architect. Your emotional state is the thermostat of your income. You cannot manifest beyond what you can emotionally stabilize. If you cannot stabilize joy, you cannot stabilize abundance. If you cannot stabilize peace, you cannot stabilize overflow. If you cannot stabilize gratitude, you cannot stabilize opportunity. If your emotions are instructions to the universe, anxiety, I can't hold increase. Fear, more will overwhelm me. Unworthiness, I don't deserve abundance. Shame, I suffer staying small. Guilt, receiving money is wrong. But when you flip it, if you look at it from this perspective, peace, I hold wealth with ease. Joy, I am aligned with expansion. Confidence, I expect increase as natural law. Gratitude, I multiply what I honor. Worthiness, overflow, belongs to me. This circuit determines what you can receive and retain. The somatic wealth circuit says your nervous system is your true bank account. Your nervous system determines how much love you can hold, how much attention you can hold, how much income you can hold, how much expansion you can hold, how much opportunity you can hold. If your nervous system is calibrated for scarcity, you will unconsciously sabotage abundance. If your nervous system is calibrated for survival, you will reject overflow without realizing it. If your nervous system is calibrated for stress, you will associate wealth with danger. This is why so many people get opportunities, panic. They get clients, they freeze. Get success, they self-sabotage it. Get increase, they let it go. They let it go. Get overflow, they collapse. Not because they're weak, but because their nervous system is untrained. You must expand your capacity before you expand your income. Your nervous system stabilizes wealth. Your life matches it effortlessly. The last one, your identity wealth circuit. Identity is the operator of all manifestation. This is the master circuit. Identity determines what you believe is possible, what you believe is allowed, what you believe is normal, what you believe you deserve, what you believe you can sustain. If you see yourself as struggling, chasing, unworthy, inconsistent, overwhelming, trying to make it, you cannot sustain multiple streams of income. But if you see yourself as divine mastery in human form, the source expressing through a vessel, the architect of wealth, the author of abundance, the producer of increase, the embodiment of overflow, the steward of unlimited supply, you attract and multiply wealth automatically. Identity is everything. You cannot outperform it. You cannot bypass it. You cannot transcend it without transforming it. Identity is your financial blueprint. I want to give you this formula real quick. It's called the receivership's formula. It's your belief times capacity times your identity times your expectation times your nervous system stability. These five factors determine exactly how much you receive, how fast you receive it, how consistently you receive it, how long you retain it, how much you multiply. Most people think increase is random. Most people think expansion is lucky. Most people think abundance is an event. Increase is law. Expansion is law. Multiplication is law. Not sometimes, not occasionally, not if the economy allows it, not if the world is stable, not if conditions are perfect. Increase is baked into the fabric of the universe. Anything aligned with divine mastery cannot stay where it started. It must expand. This means, ladies and gentlemen, when you expand, your money expands. When you evolve, income evolves. When you rise, opportunities rise. When you upgrade, your life upgrades. And the opposite of this is true. If you shrink, your reality shrinks. If you doubt, your income contracts and goes down. If you're in fear, your channels are blocked. If you're stagnant, your wealth stagnates. Because the universe mirrors the mover, which is you. So I want to thank you for those of you who have tuned in. Uh, this was a very powerful um, teaching. I would say go back and listen to this. And definitely, if you have 5 friends that you know that would need to hear this, go ahead and contact them and let them know that, man, you got to listen to this. The unlimited streams of income. The unlimited streams of income. It is my intention that you walk away today filled with your mind expanded, with you being on fire, with you being passionate about walking away and walking into 2026 with an idea of having unlimited streams of income. If you're listening to this and you're saying, I'm stuck, I'm confused, I would love to be in a position to get unlimited streams of income, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to put myself in a position. Go ahead and click the link and schedule a consultation with me. Let's get together and see what's happening for you in 2026. If this message has been a blessing to you, and you're saying, brother, man, the stuff you drop, man, people are paying a lot of money to receive. Man, you're really dropping some heavy stuff on here. Man, I just want to be a blessing to you. And if that's you, go ahead. There's 4 ways that you can sow into our ministry, that you can donate into our organization. The first way is going to be Cash App, $TOESC. That's $TOESC. And all the ways to give are also in the bottom description of the page. The second and third way that you can give is going to be Zelle and PayPal, and those are going to be based on our email, which is info, INFO, at TOESC.org. Once again, that's info at TOESC.org. And then the last way you can give is going to be our Venmo, which is going to be Issacharbey at gmail.com, ISSACHARBEY at gmail.com. Those are the 4 ways that you can sow into our ministry, that you can give into our, give your donations to our ministry, to our organization. And we want you to know that we are forever grateful. We believe that everybody that sows into this ministry, that you will receive a 100-fold return. We believe that that not only do we bless the gift, but also bless the giver. And we speak it into existence now that these teachings will manifest, will bring you into a new level of enlightenment that will elevate you and lift you to a high level of consciousness. And so we speak that into existence. As we get closer to the 2026 door of opportunities, it is my intentions that the wisdom, the teachings, the lessons, that you guys will begin to elevate and really work with them and really begin to apply them to your lives so that you can see the fruit of your labor. I believe that your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.